When we're thinking about the science of flight, we also need to think about Newton's laws. If you have time, you should research Isaac Newton. But for now, let's just take a look at his three laws.
You've been learning about the science of flight. In this presentation, we'll explore Newton's laws of motion to help us understand some ideas about the movement of objects. Let's get started. A very long time ago, in 1665 to be exact, Sir Isaac Newton had a lot of ideas about motion. He worked with mathematics and physics. Newton proposed three laws of motion that help us understand how things move. These three laws or principles can also help us understand how aircraft fly. The first law of motion says, if an object is at rest, in other words, it's not moving, it will stay at rest. But if a force acts on it, the object will move. This first law also explains that if an object is moving, it will not stop or change direction until a force acts on it. Let's see if you can test this law. First, place a pencil on your desk. Is that pencil at rest? How does this first law explain this? Now, give the pencil a push. Why did it start moving? This simple test with a pencil illustrates Newton's first law. The pencil didn't start moving on its own. When you gave it a push or applied force, it moved. Now let's examine Newton's second law. If you apply the same net force to objects of different mass, you'll get a different acceleration. What does this mean? If you pushed a toy car and a real car with the same amount of applied force, the toy car will obviously move more. In fact, the movement of the real car will be far less noticeable. This is true because the mass of the real car is greater than the mass of the toy car, so you get different acceleration. To test this out, first use an empty box. Apply a force to the box and observe how it accelerates or moves. Then add objects to the box to increase its mass. Push the box again using the same applied force. Observe how the box moves with the added mass. Now, pause the video and try this with your group. When you're finished, press play again.
Do that.
Did the empty box accelerate more than the box with the added items? Yes, this difference in acceleration is explained by Newton's second law. Newton's third law says, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. What does that mean? Well, whenever an object pushes another object, it gets pushed back in the opposite direction. Let's test this. You will need a ball and another object. You may use a book or a wall as the other object. For this test, roll the ball so that it will collide with the book or the wall. Observe what happens when the ball pushes against the object. Now, pause the video and try this with your group. When you're finished, press play again.
Go ahead, pause the video, try it.
What happened when the ball pushed or collided with the book or the wall? The ball rolled in the opposite direction. The ball moves in the opposite direction because the book or the wall actually pushed back against the ball. I hope that this presentation has helped you understand more about motion. Take time to talk about what you learned with your group, and as you learn more about the science of flight, think about how Newton's laws of motion are at work.